Sampurnam, very happy to meet you all in this scientific platform. So I'm here to present a small paper on effectiveness of WEGNET discussion on sensibility against cyberbullying. Next slide, ma'am. Introduction. The term cyberbullying instead refers to those acts of bullying, harassment, and using electronic means such as email, chat, blogs, and cell phone, social media, or any other form of communication attributable to the web. Many studies across the world have revealed that there are a number of risk factors associated with cyberbullying and their impact in adolescents' health and well-being. Social demographic factors such as age, gender, family structure, and parents' education are considered to have association with cyberbullying. Citation Manisha in the year 2017. Next slide, ma'am. It found that nearly 1 in 5 parents worldwide say their child has experienced cyberbullying at least once. The problem is particularly bad in India, which had the highest rate of parents confirming instances of cyberbullying. A total of 37% of parents across India said the child was bullied online, with 14% of that total saying the bullying occurred on a regular basis. So citation is Neal in the year 2018. Next slide. It has been estimated that roughly 20 to 40% of all adolescents will experience at least one act of cyberbullying. And internet usage in India has grown by leaps and bounds. Cyberbullying across the globe and in India specifically is a complex issue and warrants more attention than it receives. The result procured from a survey conducted across 11 cities in India have been linked to psychological causes and implication of cyberbullying, and the citation Ora in the year 2016. Next slide. Sensibility can be regarded as a defense system to a perceived threat. So I've tested this sensibility here. People with high levels of sensibility attempt to be alert during a threatening situation or stimulus control their surroundings, get to know the possible threats and develop precautions to protect themselves from any harmful any potential harm that could result from that threat. Studies suggest that awareness about cyberbullying can be increased with education. Next slide, ma'am. Thus, we need to develop prevention programs that help students develop sensibility and coping strategies to avoid cyberbullying. Positive nursing literatures on prevention of cyberbullying initiated the investigator to conduct the present study in order to bridge the research gap. The novelty of this research work was to test the effectiveness of WEGNET discussion on sensibility against cyberbullying among adolescents. Next slide. So coming to methods, prior to the collection of data, a permission was obtained from the concerned authority in selected schools at Namakkal. After obtaining return informed assent, adolescents who fulfill the inclusion criteria, like with age between 13 and 17 years, both gender, and who can give assent to participate in the study, were recruited and enrolled in the study. Study subjects were allocated into 2 arms, experimental arm and control arm, as clusters. 50 subjects were allocated in each cluster in order to prevent sample contamination. Next slide, ma'am. Pre-test was conducted by using demographic profile such as age, gender, grade, family type, information technology device owned, daily internet usage, social network, internet usage purpose, and previous awareness regarding cyberbullying. And cyberbullying sensibility scale consists of 14 items with yes sometimes and no options. Scores can be taken from this scale range from 14 to 42, and as the score increases, the sensibility of cyberbullying is also increasing. Experimental arm received WEGNET discussion for the development of sensibility against cyberbullying for 20 to 30 minutes, once in a week for the period of 2 months, The adolescents were encouraged to open communication, were encouraged for open communication about cyberbullying. Subsequently, Wignet discussions, namely internet safety, comprises of the first step to prevent cyberbullying and to understand the different forms of cyberbullying. It comprises of internet safety and the following, like never give out personal information online. Don't open attachments from people you do not know. If something makes uncomfortable online, talk to your parents or teachers. Use privacy setting on social media. Think critically about what you view on online. Cyberbullying should be first reported to online service providers. One can protect from cyberbullying by making the most privacy setting. And a second type of Wignet discussion consists of online rights and responsibilities. Online rights include access and use digital content, create and share digital media, and keep personal privacy in digital communities, express ideas and opinions freely, report anything that is seen as inappropriate. And an online responsibility, it comprises of use appropriate language, respect the opinion of others, obey all intellectual property laws of media and copyright, not to share other work without permission of others. And third, Wignet discussion consists of net ethic. It refers to acceptable behavior when on the internet. Be positive and truthful. Check and double check before hitting send. Be careful when you download. Practice safe browsing habits. Turn on your privacy setting. Limit personal information. And finally, feedback sessions were also conducted from the participants. Control arm received standard methods of care, and posters was conducted by using the same assessment techniques in experimental arm and control arm. Next slide, ma'am. Okay. So coming to results, and since the tool falls under the category of nominal and ordinal scale, I've tested and calculated with the non-parametric test like Wilcoxon-Seinbrand test and Mann-Whitney test. It showed statistical significance in increasing the sensibility against cyberbullying in experimental arm comparatively to the control arm among adolescents. It has been depicted in table 1. Next slide, ma'am. Okay, so here variable is sensibility. In experimental arm pretest, the median is 25. In experimental arm postest, median is 31. In control arm pretest, median is 27. In control arm postest, median is 28. And statistical significance like Wilcoxon-Seinbrand test and experimental arm, pre and post test showed statistical significance, Z is equal to 9.37. Control arm pre and post test showed statistical non-significance, Z is equal to 1.89. And again, Mann-Whitney test between experimental arm and control arm post test showed statistical significance, G is equal to 10.01. And we can here compare the median score. The median score of experimental arm is 31 and median score of control arm is 28. So obviously it indicates that experimental arm was quite effective. Next slide, ma'am. In discussion, the study findings reveal that administration of Wignet discussion was significant against cyberbullying among adolescents. This result is consistent with the study findings of Terkeluku et al. In 2015, who tested the effectiveness of the sensibility development program against cyberbullying in raising awareness around cyberbullying and reducing cyberbullying behaviors. Next slide, ma'am. The program specifically targeted adolescents who were at risk of exposure to cyberbullying behaviors. The cyberbullying sensibility scale was administered to the experimental and control groups before and after the program. No significant difference was found for the control group, suggesting that the program was effective in helping students develop a level of sensibility against cyberbullying. Next slide, ma'am. And Pecker in the 2015 studied the effects of psychological education program on cyberbullying oriented towards human value. A total of 24 students in the ninth and 10th grades participated in the research in control and experimental groups. In the study, researchers conducted pre, post, and follow-up tests. According to the findings obtained in the research, the psychology education program oriented toward human values had a permanent effect on decreasing student cyberbullying behaviors. Next slide. In conclusion, Wagner discussion was effective for enhancing the sensibility against cyberbullying among adolescents. Next slide, ma'am. Yes, here I do have a case scenario for you. So it is a case scenario from India. Ritika Sharma case. She was a student in a reputed Delhi school, was tagged by a Facebook friend whom she unfriended months ago and whom she gave all the information, including residential address, school address, and even cell phone number. She told her brother regarding this, and her brother filed a complaint against this. After this incident, Delhi police organized an awareness program where all the students were told not to send their personal details to any other stranger. One more case scenario. Next slide, ma'am. Is Ritu Kohli case. While discussing cyber stalking and cyberbullying, Ritu Kohli's case is a case one should mention. Kohli's case was the first cyberbullying in India. A girl named Ritu Kohli filed a complaint in 2001 that someone else is using identity in social media, and she was deliberately getting calls from different numbers, and she was also getting calls from abroad. A case was also filed in the section 509 of Indian Penal Code. This is about the case scenario. Next, we do have some references. These are all some of the citations. And thank you so much. Next slide, ma'am. Next slide, ma'am. Yes, thank you so much for patient listening. I thank the organizing committee members of this conference. I thank once again. Thank you. Any queries can be asked right now.